If you work for a large company or even if you're working from home, chances are that your Windows 10 device will have an IP address associated with it. The IP address is the address that allows the device to communicate with other devices that you have on your network, whether that be a local network or whether that be a wide area network like the internet. So in this demonstration, we're going to have a look at how we determine our network settings. A couple of different ways to do that. We can do that through the graphic user interface, and we can also do it through a command line. I'm on my client PC. So on my client PC, the first way we'll have a look at this is how we view the IP configuration from a graphic user interface. So to do that, I'm just going to click on my Start button. I'm just going to come to my settings. And within my settings, I'm just looking for my network and internet. So we'll come to our network and internet, and what we're looking for here is we're looking for a thing called the Network and Sharing Center. And what that does is that shows me that I have got my Ethernet adapter. So what we want to look at here is we just want to get some information relating to our Ethernet adapter. So I'll click on Ethernet, and then what we can do at this point here is we can click on details, and in the case of the details I can see my IP address 172.16.0.40, see my subnet mask, so 255.255.0.0. IP address is made up of two separate sections. It's got a network ID and a host ID. The network ID is determined by the subnet mask, as is the host ID. So at this point here, with me having a 255 here and a 255 here, network ID is 172.16, a 0 here and a 0 here in the subnet mask means the host ID is 0.40. I can see the default gateway or the router, the thing that allows me to get outside of my network, and I can see the DNS server. So if I type in, for example, www.brianoconnor21.co.uk, what that will do is that will then take that website I've just typed in and convert that to an IP address at the other side. So what we'll do is we'll just click close. Now another thing is we can change these settings, and we can change these settings by clicking on properties. And if we just come down and we have a look at IP version 4 and have a look at properties, again we can see the IP address, subnet mask, default gateway. We can also see as well the DNS server. Now we can modify these because we're telling it what IP address it's going to have. If I click on the Advanced tab, I can come in, I can see the IP address, I can see the default gateway. Click on the DNS tab, I can see the DNS server. So what we could do at this point here is maybe have multiple DNS servers in the case of a failure of one of the DNS servers. Down here as well, we can specify which DNS domain we're a member of. And if we look at WINS, WINS is very rarely used now, but that is the Windows Internet Naming Service. And that was, I suppose, Microsoft's version of DNS. So now we have all that in place. Next thing to do is we'll just cancel all this off. I don't really want to change anything, so we can get rid of all of that. So another way to look at the IP address settings is through the command line. So if I just right click on my Start button, I'm just going to come to Windows PowerShell Admin, and all we do at this point here, we'll just make the font a bit bigger just to make it a bit easier to read, and then we'll just maximize that up. So if we want to get information relating to our IP address, we have a command which is get hyphen and then net IP address. Now with PowerShell, what you can do is you can type in some of the command, and then you can use the tab key on your keyboard, which is the two arrows pointing in different directions, left and right, and that will then fill out the rest of the command. So if we just do an enter at this point here, what we'll see is we can see information relating to the IP address. There's our IP address. Right, other things we can do as well is we can get additional information by having a look at a get hyphen, and then we're going to do net and then IP v4 protocol. What we can see at this point here, it's giving me information relating to IP version 4. We now have IP version 6, so it's giving me some information at this point here. What we can also do as well is we can use a net shell command. So if we just clear off this screen, so we have net shell, net sh, and then interface. So I'm specifying I want to run this command against an interface. We want IP version 4. And then what we want to do is we want to show the config. Now when we hit return, it gives us information relating to our IP addresses, and finally we also have ipconfig/all, and that shows us all of the information relating to TCP/IP version 4 or IP version 6 in the case of this FE80 address. And that's the end of this demonstration. Thank you.